I dedicate this class to Aaron Akaberry, who passed away Thursday afternoon. May his memory be a blessing. May his traveling, his transition really be smooth. May he be rewarded for all the good he did. At one point, he was helping 50 to 60 people who had needs. They were coming to his house. He put a porta potty outside his house, almost like makeshift shelters numerous times. Didn't have a problem with the money. People blamed him, said he was doing drugs, selling drugs, was responsible for teenagers dying. But all these people never could say one person's name who actually died from him. And what was he selling? Mostly marijuana. And who were the people I saw ever pictures or anything documenting his connections? Was grown men. He's 39. Some of them were older than him. And a lot of them were common known homeless or drug addicts in the community, probably doing it before they ever met a person like him. And in 2022, he was forbidden legally from seeing his daughter anymore. And I believe a brother or brother-in-law said if he gives his wife an official Jewish divorce, he would get a fancy apartment, totally covered. But I guess he loved her. He didn't want to end the relationship. Maybe, and you know what? All these rumors about him with the drugs. There was a lady in 770. Her name is Sarit, and she told lies about me that I was selling drugs to Israeli girls, which I never did. After I said that she should stop putting the pictures of the Lubavitcher Rebbe on this wall, which is called the Mizrach wall, where people bow down when they're saying Shema Esrei, the 18 benedictions, the prayer, the Amidah, when you acknowledge God as the King of the world, the Lord of everything, physical, non-physical, the one who made the heaven and earth, creator of both. And when you honor that one and you bow a few times in the blessings, it's not right that they're bowing down on the eastern wall where we face the Holy Temple, where it stood, where there was a place where God's presence, we said, came onto earth. Now we say that God, now we have different ways that we bring God to earth. Like we stand in front of God when we do that, when we acknowledge God as the creator, as the king, as the Lord, as the master. And I asked her to move those pictures, and she said, to her retaliation, I said, just put them on a different wall, west wall, south wall, north wall. She got revenge by telling people I was selling drugs. Imagine if people believed her and they started telling people, God forbid, I was killing people. That is possibly what happened to him. A rumor, someone was jealous. Now, I didn't think he should live here if he's so miserable here where people are constantly saying bad things, but maybe he knew how many people needed his help. He ran into a house that flooded just couple blocks from my house, the basement where he had just moved like a month ago. He had a 25-year-old guy who was his roommate who looked very healthy and well, not like a drug addict at all. And people would say he was their friend. A homeless guy in the street who caused the scene and nobody could deal with him said, this man is my real friend, my brother. Can you imagine what kindness he was doing for these people that were underserved? And now everyone's going to see what things will be like without him. I hope that in his memory, because he's like a scapegoat to the community, that everybody is protected. But why do they need like a Jesus? Like, why do they need a bad guy to die for their sins? You know how many teenagers actually die because of drugs, because of their families' dysfunctional problems, with a death wish, with destruction, identity, with corrupted creative impulses squashed, and no catharsis, and just they become the problem child. And now he's the problem child of the community because he's new. So we don't know if he's Jewish. I mean, look back. He wore a bunch of Jewish papers on him to the temple, to the judge, who didn't let him read Jewish materials, and he fasted for 10 days in a college that wouldn't modify its meal plan for his religious beliefs. And he maintained a connection, wearing the garb and acting in a way to be part of the community. He tried to celebrate together. He went to a shul on Yom Kippur, a synagogue, but they had him daven and pray only in the courtyard. They didn't let him in. I mean, I've been crying for him. He was a gentle spirit. I never felt a bad vibe from him. I felt his presence was good, and he was a devoted person. I'm so confused. It's there was a flood, and he ran back in to get his dog, and people tried to stop him, and some people tried to say he was on drugs and that's why he died, and it was just not his time. There's like a mix up. Every time I saw him, he had these dogs that didn't even need to be on a leash. They were so well trained, so trusting, so happy. I feel he's innocent and he was mistreated. I really miss him. I found out so much about him more recently after he died, and I feel like life is not the same. I feel I wish I could have known him better. So we're going to learn from Awareness, the book by Miriam Adahan. She talks about the Enneagram being our godly power. So she starts with 2, and then the 0 comes after the 9. The 1 comes after the 9. So 2, to give selflessly. 3, to ambitiously develop one's potential to see the fullest. 4, to create and give spiritual meaning to suffering, feel one with God. 5, to grasp God's wisdom. 6, make oneself subservient to God's will. 7, to experience the sanctity of the physical universe and serve Hashem with joy. 8, to lead others and master one's passions. 9, to create harmony and peace. And then the 1 is to maintain Torah principles with steadfast integrity and guide those who have gone astray. And now in the Enneagram, when these godly powers are corrupted, this is what it looks like. 2, addiction to closeness and self-importance. 3, to impressing others. 4, to emotional drama. 5, addiction to facts. 6, idol worship and gaining security from people and physical objects. 7, the indulgence in physical pleasures. 8, to dominating. 9, to emotional comfort. And 1, to perfecting people and things. And now there's different types of eyes, like perception and seeing. The 2s see a problem and what can be done to solve it. 3s focus on outer appearances and are aware of who is accomplishing the most and doing the least. 4s see the mystical, the inner spirit, meaning in events, and pick up the subtle emotional cues being transmitted on an extrasensory level. 5 see the hidden meaning and patterns within the information presented to them. 6 focus on loyalty or disloyalty, safety or danger. 7 see possibilities for fun, excitement, and adventure. 8s see who and what can be controlled or protected and how to do so. 9 focus on the good in events and in people, seeing how best to create harmony, unity, and peace. 1s focus on cleanliness and structure and strict piety, noting if people are dressed correctly, if the spelling's correct, if things are clean and orderly, and what needs to be fixed. So there's also different kinds of existential anxiety. This is the different ways it manifests. 2s, I'm loved and needed, therefore I am. 3s, I am accomplished and admired, therefore I am. 4, I feel, therefore I am. 5, I think, therefore I am. 6, I am secure, therefore I am. 7, I am enjoying life, therefore I am. 8, I am in control, therefore I am. 9, I am in harmony with others, therefore I am. And 10, I am right, therefore I am. And then we'll go to the tikkun, the correction for the blind spots. The 2s can be blind to their own feelings, sure that they always feel loving and motivated by love, not realizing that they may be using others to feel worthy, worthwhile, and powerful. As in, I must make everyone happy to have worth. Threes are blind to the fact that that their sense of superiority is an illusion, seeing themselves as far more accomplished, successful, and happy than they really are. I must be the best to have worth. 4s are blind to the beauty in themselves and their life. Only by dwelling on my pain will I be able to connect with people. When I understand why I'm in pain, I'll be able to eliminate the pain. These are the blind spots. This is the belief that's not true that the person is telling themselves. We covered 2, 3, and 4. Now up to 5. They're blind to the limitations of the human mind, and they tell themselves, when I figure it all out, then I'll not be plagued with uncertainty or insecurity. 6s are blind to the limitations of human beings to provide security. They say my desire for security can be satisfied by people. 7s are blind to the limitations of the physical world to provide satisfaction. They say to themselves, if I could just get enough, I won't feel deprived or empty. 8 are blind to the fact that their sense of omnipotence is an illusion and blind. And they're blind to the pain that they cause others. They believe I'm truly godlike. 9 are blind to the existence of evil. They tell themselves, if I ignore the bad, it won't affect me, and I will be able to stay comfortable. And ones are blind to their own lack of morality and ethics, believing that everything they do is motivated solely by righteousness. They tell themselves, I'm only worthy of love and respect if I'm perfect. Each one of us faces our blind spots with courage and humility in order to grow. And we'll stop here, and I wish everyone Shavua Tov. May we all be comforted by Hashem with soothing and support and community.